Hey, boys and girls, Squee913, along with Inferno Canuck, back to finish Masters of Darkness.
Yes, the Masters of Darkness.
And I didn't really get any feedback, except for one comment on whether or not, having Inferno, doing this together with Inferno was liked or not liked. But, the more I thought about it over the week, I had so much more fun having someone who hadn't read this before help me do it. That you guys got to understand that when you're reading a book, it's not the same as let's playing a game. There's just so little going on, and sometimes it feels so awkward just talking to yourself that I honestly think I'm just going to make this a permanent thing where Inferno helps me for the rest of the series, and I really hope you guys are okay with that. But the simple truth is, when it's more fun for me to do it as a let's player, it will show. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Yeah, because I
I'm
was
having
starting.
fun doing this too. This is pretty amazing.
I was starting. The whole reason why I thought about it, I was starting to lose steam. I love the Lone Wolf Saga, I do, but I was starting to. It just wasn't as fun as the other ones anymore because I already knew everything that was going to happen, and adding Inferno into this changes it up and keeps me motivated to keep doing it. So.
Woo!
Whee!
Yay! All right.
All right, so when last we left, we had just killed Yogi the bear, and he was blocking the entrance of the cave so we could get a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had used the animal control. Oh, wait.
Well, wait.
No.
Didn't have that.
Didn't have that one. All right, so. Dawn arrives, its hazy light barely brightening the banks of the gray cloud that swirl above this bleak and desolate land. The rain has ceased, but the cold wind still blows strongly, bringing patches of frost that whiten the stony soil. You check your equipment and take stock of your provisions before setting off towards the distant line of hills. You are aware that the dawn light has increased the chances of you being found by a GAC patrol should you stay too long in any one place, especially so near the shore. So it is nearly noon when finally you reach the top of the ridge and stare down at the valley that lies beyond. It is a barren landscape of endless pits and crags, jagged boulders, and scree. What is scree?
Scree is like kind of like a shale or
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember, like small sharp rocks.
Okay, yeah. Like the ones that you could chip off.
Yeah.
I see.
Similar to that. I'm pretty sure that's what scree is.
A rough, foot-worn track follows a stream that winds its way back to its source, deep among the towering range of mountains that dominates the horizon. Using your map and your Kai tracking and hunting skills, you conclude that the mountains are the northwestern tip of the Derncrag Range. All right, hang on. Let's go to the map real quick.
Okay.
So that we have an idea where we are.
Range.
So we are... here's where we left. We left Tehran here.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't tell us what the Derncrag Range.
Maybe if you scroll down a little bit.
Perhaps?
Just a touch. I'm just wondering if it's those volcanoes in the middle.
No, because we're over here somewhere.
Yeah, you're way over. Oh, you're there. Okay.
Yeah, because we left here and we were going this way, and then the sea monster was like around here somewhere. So we're around here, or around
All
here
right.
maybe, one of the two.
Cool.
But anyway, we're in this narrow area. This 100 square miles or so.
Give or take.
Oh, I didn't see that. Look at the border. It's just a huge battle.
Oh yeah, you
It's
didn't
kind
notice
of hard
that?
to see. No.
Oh, there you go.
Massive battle.
Massive battle.
All right, let's back up a little bit and bring this back over to where we can. There we go. All right. Beyond them must lie the Gulf of Helenag and the Dark Lord naval base of Agrazad. A feeling of
okay.
dread, huh?
So it was that first place that you showed. It wasn't further west.
So I was right.
It was that. It was that eastern bit on the map.
So it was. Right here.
Yeah, well,
Right here.
it's Amsterdam. Yeah.
No, right here.
Argazad.
Sorry, right
Did
here.
he say? Yeah, right there.
Argazad.
There you go.
So right there. Wow, we didn't get very far at all.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
Get
I bet you we
shipwrecked.
would have gotten farther if he had read the orders when I handed it to him. Just saying.
That's exactly it.
Just
When I
saying.
didn't come across that sea monster.
I would point it out, but he's dead.
Very.
Beyond them must lie, yes, okay, a feeling of dread overwhelms you as you realize that more than 300 miles of hostile terrain lie between you and Arnak, the stronghold where you are to rendezvous with the slave master. Silently, you stare at the forbidding mountains and rack your brains for a solution to your predicament. At length, you formulate a new plan of action. Run like a
Right.
scared little girl.
I don't know if that's much of a
No.
plan.
Yes, sure it does. It's a plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so well thought out, but still. The track and the stream wind their way towards a narrow gap in the Derncrag range. Fixedly, you stare at this gap. The longer you gaze, the more certain you are that this is a mountain pass, allowing the path to continue through Agrazad. You decide to press on and traverse the pass. Hopefully, the track will lead to the naval base, where you can attempt to steal or stow away on some means of transport that will carry you to Arnak. The naval base must receive equipment from the Darkland City Fortress, and it is likely that the Arnak is one such source of supply. It is nearly dusk when the stony path reaches the narrow, boulder-strewn approach to the pass. It has been a long and tiring trek, yet, in spite of your fatigue, your senses warn you in good time of the danger that lies ahead. The pass is blocked by a wall and a stone watchtower, both guarded by... I always say Gak, but you said Gaiak. You think that's Gaiak?
I think it's, well, I would say Gaiak, but
I think you
this
might
is,
be
you know,
right.
your narration.
Well, no, but the one problem is that
Gaiak or Giak?
most of these names were when I first read this book, I was like 12. And I have a habit of the first way I pronounce a name is what I stick with.
Oh, I do that all the time,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember one character in another series of books called Wheel of Time. Her name is actually Nynaeve, but the first time I read it, I saw Naive. And so the whole series, I kept calling her Naive, which actually kind of works because she was, you know, whatever. Anyway, guarded by Gaiac soldiers. Carefully, you leave the path and creep along the bank of the stream, remaining hidden from view as slowly you edge your way nearer to the Gaiac outpost. An iron-banded gate in the center of this wall allows traffic to use the pass, but it is closed and guarded by sentries. As dusk turns to darkness, you continue to observe every detail of the outpost and the surrounding mountains in hopes of finding a way through. And of course, we have a picture of it.
Of course.
Yeah, it looks like that's... Gosh, they even built the wall up here just in case you decided to try
yeah.
and scale the wall. Good Lord.
That makes sense.
Obsessive much, are they?
Well,
If you wish to attempt to scale the wall, or if you decide to avoid the outpost and search for an alternative route across the mountains.
alternative route could take quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lone Wolf, he's pretty damn nimble. We're going to try to scale the wall.
All right. This isn't the first book. This is the 12th book, so we should be able to.
Yeah. No getting knocked out for us.
No tree branches here. We're safe.
Mm-hmm.
That would be funny every time he passes a tree. My old enemy. After spending 2 hours scrutinizing every move the Gaiac guards make, you are sure that the two patrolling the wall follow the same routine with little variation. Once every 2 minutes exactly, their beat brings them both to a point near the watchtower at the middle of the wall, where they turn about before starting another circuit of patrol. You wait until one of the sentries reaches the end of the battlements, and at the point where where it abuts the sheer mountain wall, and when he turns to march back to the center, you make your move. Crouching low, you scurry to the foot of the wall and begin to climb, counting every passing second as you struggle to find handholds in the darkness. Oh, pick a number on the not-so-random number table. If you possess the Magna Discipline of Invisibility, add 2 to the number you've picked. Okay. If you possess the Magna Discipline of Hunt Mastery and have reached the Kai rank of Primate or more, add 3. So I get to add 5.
There we go. All right.
So we need 7 or more.
More than enough.
You see what I mean?
You win this round, random number generator.
Because I would have been able to...
Yeah,
it purposely does that so that my bonus is pointless.
Yep.
Your skill and dexterity make scaling the wall an easy task. You reach the parapet, climb over, and slip stealthily down the other side without being seen by either the guards in the watchtower nor the two on the wall. Then, hiding behind the rocks and crags that line the roadway, you escape through the pass undetected. Woohoo!
Nice. So far, I've also tallied up 4 page turns, by the way.
Yay! So we're at
some-
25 now.
Yeah. since we're not doing anything too battly stressful.
Yeah. Thanks. I completely forgot.
No problem. Hey, when it's both our asses on the line.
Yes.
Some
And
crap.
I hope you guys are used to that because starting in the Grand Kai Saga, we don't get that ability anymore, even if you
Oh,
choose
really?
healing. I'll explain more as the next book starts, but yeah. Guided by starlight, you trek westwards through the pass until the need for food and rest forces you to stop. A brief search uncovers a shallow fissure in the mountain wall, which offers a safe refuge for the night, and there you decide to grab a few hours sleep before continuing to Agrazad. You must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Now, we have Hunt Mastery, so we don't... I mean, there's got to be food in this place somewhere, or we
Yeah.
can use one of the backpacks. It's up to you. In fact, I think we still have... a meal that has plus 3 endurance points as well.
Yeah, we do have a meal, but you know what? Since we do have the Hunt Mastery ability, and that it is, reasonable to believe that there's some sort of mountain game that we can probably take down
Right.
relatively easily, like, I don't know, a rabbit or a goat or something like that. I think we'll use that ability.
Okay.
Might as well.
If I remember correctly, I think we ate a meal earlier, so we only have
We
2
did.
meals. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, we ate one in the cave because we were cold and starving, and
Oh, right.
we're not in this. It was not in the situation to go out hunting.
Okay, so we ate the meal. No, we hunted and we found ourselves a nice cave rat or something. Shortly after dawn, a howling wind awakens you from your dreamless slumber. It sweeps along the pass from the west, carrying with it the briny smell of the sea. Resolutely, you continue your trek following the roadway through the pass until at midday you emerge from the mountains at a point that commands the clear view over the land beyond. There you stop and stare at an expanse of rocky terrain so fragmented that it might have been smashed by a giant hammer. It slopes down to the shore of the wide inlet, the Gulf of Helenag, where a line of darkland ironclads are steaming northwards on their way to join the blockade. Good, because they need it. Apparently people are passing that thing.
Yeah, just
Like a revolving
you guys didn't
door.
Get the memo, but yeah, a lot of people are going through.
We're supposed to stop them? I thought we were just observing.
I thought we were just going to use them as target practice.
From where you are, they appear no longer larger than tiny black specks dotting the steel gray sea, but the clouds of yellow smoke that pour from their funnels clearly identify them as enemy ships. The track continues snaking southwards across the barren landscape on its way to Agrazad. For 3 hours you tread this uneven surface until you arrive at what appears to be the ruins of an ancient tower. If you have the Mandakai discipline of divination and have reached the Kai rank of Mentoria or higher... Yeah, sure, we've reached it. We're doing all the books, so yes, we've reached it. As you stare at the ruins, a strange feeling of unease engulfs your body. At the same time, a nervous energy makes your skin tingle and fills your mind with disturbing images. Your highly developed mind skills are sensitive to the psychic residues of the events that took place here 2,000 years ago. This land once belonged to a colony of creatures called the Nabora, a sentient race of winged men who evolved during the golden age of the Shianti. The city of Nibiran, the core of their civilization, was located here on what was once a rich and fertile coastal plain. The demise of the Shianti heralded the rise of the Dark Lords in northern Magnamund, and the beginning of the War of Desecration, in which Nabora and many other races were exterminated. This ruined tower is all that remains of the wondrous city of Nibiran, where, in the year MS-3250, the entire Nabora race was trapped and slaughtered by the Dark Lords of Helgadad.
Oh,
Pleasant thoughts?
yeah, that's kind of sad.
After searching the ruins and finding nothing of practical use, you continue your lonely trek along the Agrazad Trail. For the most part, it runs parallel to the coast and is exposed to strong gusts of icy air that whip across the gulf. You find yourself having to lean into the sleet-tinged winds in order to remain upright. It is a tiring ordeal, and as dusk begins to darken the sky, you welcome the chance to stop and rest. You have just located a windproof niche in the lee of the rocky crag and are about to settle down for rest when you notice something moving towards you along the trail. If you have the Magna Chi discipline of Hunt Mastery and have reached this rank, yes, I have. So we get to use our telescopic vision. Using your
Wonderful.
telescopic vision, You focus on the approaching shape, and as it draws nearer, you are able to discern exactly what it is. You see a wagon laden with barrels and boxes and drawn by 6 ox-like creatures. 2 Gaiacs are sitting atop of the wagon, the driver, who is lashing the team with a whip, and the guard, who appears to be fast asleep. Behind the wagon are 4 horsemen, Dracarum escorts, judging by their size and cut of their black leather armor. Their route will take them close to where you are sheltering, mindful of the Gaiac ability to see in the dark. You decide to stay in hiding and wait for them to pass.
Oh, wow.
Yes, if I remember correctly, if you didn't have that ability, you probably end up fighting them because you don't know who they are.
Speaking of that, though, that was your 5th page turn since we last kept track.
Sweet.
Avoiding battle gets us hit points. I like that.
Yeah. You squeeze into a space between the rocks and listen to the grind of the wagon's wheels on the rough stone trail as it draws steadily nearer. Then the Drakkar voice cries out, "Koga okim darg naduz." The sound stops abruptly, much like his coherent vocabulary. You strain your ears for an indication of what the enemy are doing, but all you can hear are muffled voices and the jingle of bridles and bits. Then you hear the Dracarum escorts leave the trail and dismount close to where you are hiding. Your pulse quickens as you realize they are preparing to strike camp here overnight.
Oh no!
Yay! Fortunately, because they are deep inside their own territory, the Dracarum do not bother to inspect their surroundings, and your presence goes undetected. You listen intently to their conversation, but discover little useful information except that they are from Agrazad and are on their way to the outpost at the mouth of the Durncrag Pass. After eating, they settle down for a session of gambling. They have been playing for only a few minutes when one of the Dracarum is accused of cheating. A violent argument breaks out, and the bloodshed is averted only when their commander, a sergeant, steps in to break it up. He finds a fistful of cards wedged in the accused Drakkar's sleeve. Angrily, he denounces the cheat and orders him to return to Agrazad at first light. The game is brought to a close, and as the disgruntled Drakkarum get ready to sleep, a bold plan springs into your mind and could make your journey through the Darklands and your entry into Agrazad much easier.
Oh, I got an idea.
You are gonna run away.
Can I say what it is?
Sure.
I think he's gonna try to ambush the lone guy, steal his armor, and try to infiltrate that way via disguise.
I thought actually he was gonna try and pretend to be that guy's backpack, and kind of have the guy piggyback
Wear him.
Yeah, all the way in, and then it's like, you have a Kaido on your back. What?
No, that's just my boil.
When did he get there? Patiently, you wait until the Dracarum and the Gaiacs are snoring soundly. Then you leave your hiding place and slip away undetected. Your plan is to ambush the Drakkar who was caught cheating at dawn when he rides back to Agrazad alone. By discarding your cape and tunic in favor of his battle armor, it should be far easier to enter the naval base unnoticed, especially on horseback, and with your face obscured by one of the grotesque battle masks that all Drakkarum wear. But without your green cloak, how will they know who you are? That's like your badge. Or whatever. 3 miles along the trail, you find the ideal place to launch your ambush. A stony track passes between a cluster of huge rocks. There you lie in wait for the dawn, and with it, the arrival of your victim. While you wait, you must eat a meal. Now we can hunt, I think.
Okay, I was just about to say, though, in this circumstance, how long is it till the dawn, do you think? Like, in the context of this game? Probably
several hours. I mean, because you waited till they went to sleep, so yeah.
Yeah, and we even if we just assume that he went off for an hour to... Even if we assume 2 hours went off to hunt, he'd probably still be able to get back to that location with plenty of time, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, we'll have him eat the meal then.
All right. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to hunt, and then we should be fine. And then you said it was 2 points, right?
Well, that was the third.
Yeah. Well... Okay, that was the third. Got it. So we're at 33 now.
The one that you just flipped, that was number 3.
Alright, shortly after dawn has brightened the eastern horizon, the Drakkar warrior appears riding his steed unhurriedly along the trail to Agrazad. As he approaches, you get ready to launch your ambush. Ooh, okay, hang on. Now, if you have a bow and wish to use it, we could. However, I would.
How many arrows do we have
Yeah,
left?
exactly. I was going to caution. We have one. Actually, this should be one.
Oh
arrow.
god, we should save that for an emergency.
Right, or at least
No,
until we
well-
get some more.
Yeah. Let's jump at him.
Yeah, leap on him as soon as he comes into range.
Yeah.
With the speed and grace of a hunting leopard, you launch yourself at the Drakkar rider. Pick a number on the random number. Well, maybe we should have wasted the arrow. If you have the Magnified Discipline of Hunt Mastery, add 3 to the number you've picked. Oh, okay. Well, it shouldn't be that hard.
As long as we don't get a
zero.
0, we're gonna get a 0.
No, okay.
Nope. Far from it.
Good. Okay, good. You land on the Drakkar. As you land on the Drakkar, you grab him in a headlock and drag him from the saddle, and then you use a Phil Nelson to put the sleeper on him.
Not quite.
And then the claw! The claw!
All right, Jim Carrey.
No, I was thinking wrestling, not Jim Carrey.
Oh, my
You
bad.
see like Lone Wolf doing the people's elbow or something. The force of your attack twists his neck awry, and you hear a sharp crack a moment before you both strike the ground. Oh, you don't hear that in wrestling very often.
No.
Quickly you recover from the fall, draw a weapon, and jump on the prone warrior before he can get to his feet, but you soon discover that he is no longer a threat. Your attack broke his neck, and he was dead before his body hit the ground.
Oh, there you go.
That's what you get for cheating.
Ooh.
You drag the dead Drakkar behind the rocks and divest the body of its armor. Although it's not a perfect fit, the leather battle jacket, leggings, and battle mask make you look convincingly like a Drakkar warrior. Apart from the armor, which you do not need to record on your action chart, you have discovered a number of items which may be of use to you in the road ahead. A sword, a dagger, a bow, a quiver, 4 arrows, and 30 kiko or 3 gold crowns. Now, we don't need the sword or bow or dagger, because we already have enough weapons, but we definitely need the arrows.
Yes, we do.
So that'll put us back up to 5.
Sweet.
And we can always use gold crowns. Why not?
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm not counting the page flips for our healing for the actual combat,
Right.
leaping and snacking is that part, but I'll start keeping track from here on.
All right.
As well.
The dead warrior's horse is standing nearby, pawing the ground nervously, using your innate Kai skill of animal kinship. Oh yeah, I should point out, you have you basically the first saga. You've learned all 10 of those skills. So there's a lot of times we'll say, you know what, all you need is your basic animal kinship for this one. That's fine. So, you succeed in calming him and making him obey your commands. Slowly he approaches and allows you to climb into the saddle. Once you are sure you have control, you flick your heels and head off at a canter along the trail to Agrazad. Yay!
Right.
Infiltration successful. It is nearing the hour of sunset when you set eyes on the naval base of Agrazad. I have a footnote here. What does the footnote say? If you only possess the Kai discipline of hunting, not hunt mastery, you may no longer hunt for food as you venture deeper into the Darklands. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, but we do have hunt
Yes.
mastery.
Yes.
Okay.
It nestles in the curve of a cliff, a natural harbor protected by the pounding waters of the Helenag by a long promontory of rock. Now, of course, my own house rules still state that, in certain situations, still not going to use hunt mastery.
Of course.
If I'm
Yeah,
hiding in a
just
box somewhere.
Just common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wall-like barrier serves as a key. Rebel told me they pronounce this key, but that's, an English guy, so who knows?
Isn't the author English?
Yeah.
So I think.
Okay, fine, we'll say key, but it doesn't look like key at all.
Way.
Yeah, it looks like quay. And, so we'll just say key and knigget and knifey and...
And
Alright.
schedule.
Actually, they do pronounce it like that over there.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. The key for more than 50 ironclad warships. The evil armada that is slowly strangling your country. Although the key, huddled in the shadow of the surrounding cliffs, along the key, huddled in the shadow of the surrounding cliffs, are a host of grim gray buildings, newly constructed from iron and stone. Their greasy windows flare with the orange light of fires that roar within, warming the Drakkarum sailors and marines who crew the dark land fleets. Before entering the base, the trail joins a highway that approaches Agrazad from the south. You stop to consult your map and discover that this road leads to the city fortress of Kag and Arnak. You consider avoiding the naval base and riding to Arnak, but soon dismiss the idea. The journey would take you across the Naugizaga. Yeah. One of the most desolate wastelands in all of Magnamund. Even if you could survive the heat, the dust, and the hellish creatures that dominate the Grey Desert, your mount would be sure to perish from lack of food and water. Okay then, and we have a picture of crossed swords because that has everything to do with what we're talking about.
Oh, totally.
The wall of stone, surmounted by an unbroken coil of razor-sharp wire, encircles the naval base. There is only one way through the perimeter wall, a gate that is guarded by a squad of Death Knights.
Oop, typo.
I guess so. I'm going to say the elite
Yeah.
of the Drakarum. Boldly, you ride towards the gate, hoping to pass through unchallenged. But as you approach, the Death Knights take up their spears and stand shoulder to shoulder across the road. Teg Okak Aga Kog Agrazad Shad? Demands their sergeant gruffly. If you possess the Magnified discipline of Psi Surge and have reached the rank of Principalian or more, if you possess the Magnified discipline of Invisibility and have reached the rank of Skorn Kai or more, or if you have neither. So you can either one of those. We have both.
I'm curious about this Psi Surge thing.
All right.
I've never seen that in effect yet.
When you fail to answer, the burly sergeant strides forward and repeats his command impatiently. You meet his cold stare and project a surge of psychic energy directly into his brain. He begins to shiver, the cruel eye is widening as your attack erodes his ability to concentrate. You will him to allow you to pass. These are not the droids you're looking for. As he mechanically turns to face his troops, these are not the droids we're looking for. As the armored soldiers stand aside, you ride quickly through the gate along the shadowy street that leads down to the quay. At the end of the street is a sign that indicates the way the two main areas of Agrazad, the Ironclad Harbor and the Supply Depot. Yeah, if you use invisibility, invisibility allows you to change your appearance to match whatever you want.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, this is kind of cool to do the whole Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah, totally, man.
You wish to investigate the harbor or the Supply Depot?
Where were we supposed to meet our contact? Let me think.
A whole nother city.
Oh yeah, shit. He is in a whole other city, isn't he? Then
Yep.
let's investigate the supply depot.
Alrighty. You follow a cobblestone alleyway and soon arrive at a large square flanked to the north, south, and west by warehouses, yet dominated by a smaller building on the east side. Its granite walls are festooned with black flags bearing the emblem of a silver ship and a fiery sword. And atop its flat roof there sits a huge winged creature with mottled gray skin, an Imperial's land beast. You watch with grim fascination as the beast feeds on a pile of horse carcasses stacked beside its fascination? Did you find that fascinating?
Grimly, at least.
Still, it's... yeah... Then a daring thought comes to mind. If you could reach the roof of the building and steal this land beast, you could partake of the dead horse feast.
Not quite.
No? Oh, sorry.
No horse.
Well, he was fascinated by it. I just thought that...
It's a grim fascination. Have you never watched, like, I don't know, like a spider wrap its prey in a web?
Yeah,
it's
I
creepy,
suppose
but
I
it's
have.
fascinating. You're
That's
just like,
true.
oh.
Or trapdoor spiders. Those are even worse. 'Cause
Oh,
you know
okay,
it's
let's not
coming.
talk about them.
You know
All
it's
right.
coming. Rather than the days it would take by land or sea. So we're going to try and steal this land beast.
Excellent.
After riding once around the building to assess its defenses, you leave your horse tethered to a rail near the side entrance and approach the only door that appears to be unguarded. It is locked, but the crude draw bolt that secures it proves no match for your basic Kai skill of mind over matter. The bolt clicks back and the door swings open, and you enter the building unseen.
Nice.
Beyond the door lies a corridor that leads to a narrow hall of stone. Its ceiling, flat and undomed, is supported by thick columns that march in rows down the sides of the walls. Between the columns are plain steel doors, the largest one guarded by Death Knights. From the safety of the shadows, you watch as the great door swings open and a man swathed in voluminous scarlet robe emerges into the corridor. He speaks at length to the two guards, who depart in haste when he has finished, as if running an important errand. Beyond the great door, you can see a flight of stairs ascending into darkness. The man in red watches the Death Knights leave, then turns and ascends the stairs hurriedly, leaving the great steel door ajar. Ooh, how convenient. The
Indeed.
power of plot compels me. Hoping that the staircase leads to the roof, you cross the corridor and follow the robed man, taking care not to be seen, as you stalk silently in his wake. Your Kai skills keep you hidden from view and enable you to gain entry to the chamber that occupies the entire top floor of the building. There, you take cover behind one of the many statues that encircle the floor, and witness a scene that chills you to the core.
Oh boy. That's our 5th page slip. By the way.
Yay! So we're at 38 now.
Oh, I know. I mean, we might as well use this healing ability because I have a feeling we're gonna need it.
Yeah, probably.
So you could go through this point without this healing ability, and we'd still be at like say 41% hit points.
Yep.
Wow, fair enough.
Well,
fair enough.
you probably would have used the healing potion by
Yeah.
now.
Gotcha.
But yes. But you're starting to see why I think this skill is a little overpowered.
It is kind of OP, but might as well use it.
Yep.
Lone wolf ain't no, turkey.
On a throne of hewn granite, ringed by 7 pillars of fire, sit a being whose form radiates pure evil,
Oh shit.
as opposed to evil modeled with some sort of boredom. No, this is pure evil.
Yeah.
A loose gray robe shrouds his skeletal frame. It is drawn closely around a stringy throat that swells and shrinks repulsively as he sucks the sulphurous air. With a claw-like finger, he scrapes nervously at the blistered flesh that stretched tightly across the swollen left side of his face, attempting in vain to hook the head of a snake-like parasite that has burrowed into his jaw. His eyes, deep sunken and red-rimmed with the unbearable pain of his affliction, burn with sick fascination as he listens impatiently to the pleas and excuses being offered by the two who stand before him, the man in red and one other, both humbly bowed. The luckless mortals plead their case, speaking in the Vasogonian tongue, a language that you have mastered long ago. They speak of delays in the construction of a mighty battleship, of shortages in materials, and of too little time in which to finish their work. Their words